Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be talking about the exact release time for the Criminal Enterprises DLC update that's going to be arriving in just a few short hours here in Grand Theft Auto Online. We'll also be diving into some more details that Rockstar released today, some things you might have missed, and how you can prepare for the update to arrive so that you can enjoy everything on day one. So there's a couple things you need to know about the GTA Online DLC releases. The first is that they come out 99% of the time at the same time. There's only been one DLC, and that was the original Heist update that released at kind of a different time than what we're used to. And it's also a global rollout, meaning that it's available for every single person at the same time. There's been a couple recent Rockstar releases like the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition and the digital versions of the expanded and enhanced edition of GTA 5 that came out, let's call it technically first, for those guys in like Australia and New Zealand. This rolls out for the same time for everyone, no matter where you are in the world. So this map was actually put together by my friend Ben or Videotech, and it's a global rollout of when the DLC is going to be coming out. So let's start with North America and the US. That's where I'm based. So on the west coast of the United States, you've got Seattle, Los Santos, or Los Angeles. That's going to be around 3 a.m. In the mountain area, you've got Alberta, Canada, 4 a.m. And then on the East Coast, Liberty City, Atlanta, it's going to be around 6 a.m. with Sao Paulo, Brazil being at about 7 a.m. So again, pretty much anywhere in the US and Canada, it's going to be from 3 a.m. on the West Coast, 6 a.m. on the East Coast when this is going to arrive. Now moving across the pond in London and in Madrid, it's going to come out around 11 a.m. In Berlin and Paris, France, around noon. In Moscow, it's going to be around 1 p.m. Seoul, South Korea, around 7 p.m. Tokyo, Japan, 7 p.m. Sydney, Australia, 8 p.m. And then in New Zealand, they're actually going to get it the latest technically in the day on Tuesday at around 10 p.m. So that's when the update is going to be arriving, which is just in a few short hours. I will also leave a time converter site in the description if you guys are interested so that you can know exactly when it's going to be coming out based on where you live. Now, as far as what consoles get them first, this is what has traditionally happened. So on PC, the Rockstar launcher, because that is Rockstar's own platform, usually always gets it first. That's how it's traditionally been. Then that is followed by the Xbox platforms. So Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One. Remember, this is available on all consoles. Then the Sony consoles, PlayStation 4 and PS5. And then last but not least, it's the other retailers and platforms like the Epic Games Store and Steam that we typically see on PC that end up getting the update last. I don't know why it goes out in that order. Maybe it has something to do with the DLC approval process, but that is how things work. That is when it is going to arrive. So in a few short hours, that's how things are going to be rolling out, and that's who's going to get the DLC first. What platforms will ultimately get it the first. Now, it's for the most part going to come out roughly at the same period of time. Just some systems will end up getting it a little bit early. Now, one tip I can give you guys is definitely to leave your console or your system in a rest mode or a mode where updates will download automatically. As we've seen so far from the various leaks and information we've received, it looks like this is going to be a pretty big DLC. So there's a good chance that this could be a couple of gigabytes worth of files. And if that's the case, it's going to be pretty big to download. And depending on your internet, that could take a couple of minutes or it could take a couple of hours. If you put your consoles in rest mode or the ability to download when you're not on it, whenever you hop on, if you're not going to be jumping on the second it's available, it is going to give you the ability to just turn on your console and launch into the game rather than getting really excited about something, turning on your console, and then having to wait an hour or two to download the update. That's a huge buzzkill. You don't want to have to do that. So that's my only advice as far as what you can do with the consoles. Now, I want to dive back into some more information that Rockstar and insiders have revealed. Let's actually begin with this screenshot right here. So I want to focus on our girl character. As a couple of people have actually pointed out, number one, this is a brand new haircut. So that's going to be kind of cool. I would imagine we would have one or two of these for both the male and the female characters, but this is a new haircut for her. And she is also wearing the new AirPods or beat-off earphones. As you can see, she has one in her right ear. She might have one in her left ear, but her hairline is covering that. So that's pretty cool. We get another look at the new headphones that are going to be arriving, and we also get another look at a brand new haircut that's going to be arriving too. Now, this was actually posted on the GTA Plus page, so I don't know if it's going to be exclusive or limited time for GTA Plus members, but that's where it was posted, so take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. But there's definitely going to be a new haircut, and it's another look at the new AirPods, which is pretty cool. Now, if you guys watched my previous video, you know that there was a massive leak that just came out courtesy of Rockstar Games insider WildBrick142. And one of the vehicles they said was going to be coming was the Conada, C-O-N-A-D-A. And that was one of the vehicles I really couldn't put my finger on. Well, a lot of people pointed out that there's actually something called the Conada effect, which gives us a huge hint as to what vehicle this could be referring to. So the Conada effect was named after a Romanian inventor, Henry Conada, who was the first to recognize the practical application of the phenomenon in aircraft design around 1910. So I think it's very safe to say that this new Conada is going to be the helicopter that's been featured not only in the trailer, but in screenshots too. So this is a cool reference and Easter egg to someone who probably changed the way the world functions with aircraft design and whatnot. And so they're kind of naming a helicopter after him. That is super cool. So a little Easter egg that you guys might not have known there. And it also reveals the name of, again, one of our upcoming vehicles. So I think that is pretty awesome. Now, the last thing I want to touch on in this video today is how you can enjoy all of this new content that's going to be arriving in just a few short hours. As we've talked about a ton of new vehicles, lots to do. You're going to need a lot of money, and there's some ways in which you can go without bankrupting yourself on day one. And number one, you don't have to buy everything. So I know that sounds obvious, but if you have friends or you have crew members that play the game, you can buy one car, your friend can buy another car, and your crew member can buy another car. And you can decide if you like it, if you don't like his, or if you do like his, you can end up buying it. There's also going to be in-game services that will allow you to test out a lot of the in-game vehicles, like the LS Car Meet is very likely going to have some test rides. The new car dealership is very much going to have some vehicles that you can test around. I would assume some of the new ones. So take advantage of something like that. I know it sounds obvious, but also take advantage of someone like myself. I'm going to be buying all the vehicles, doing a buyer beware, telling you which items you need to stay away from, giving you a review on the certain things that are introduced in the game and whatnot. So take advantage of that. Also, utilize your friends and crew members and know that you just don't have to buy everything at once. And if you are on the fence about something, also know that there's going to be some big discounts that come along in probably the following weeks and months. So some of those vehicles that you might want at full price might become somewhat a little bit cheaper, could be 25% off or more. There also might be some in-game bonuses to get vehicles either A, for free or cheaper by either completing the Operation Paper Trail mission, or there might be some trade prices associated with certain cars based off of what you're doing. So just know that you don't have to buy everything, and you don't have to buy everything at full price. If you're looking for some last-minute ways to make money too, I would start on that now because I think you can only do them once every 48 minutes. Sell some cars. So not only are you probably going to need the new garage space, but there's also a lot of vehicles that you probably don't utilize anymore. Maybe some old school supercars that are out of date, or some really expensive lowriders that you just don't go cruising with anymore. Give those a sell. You can make a couple $100,000, maybe even close to $1 million per car, depending on how much you souped it up. And you'll also save yourself from having to buy a new garage, and you will make space for those new vehicles. Always something to think about right there. And then last but not least, if you're just in a giant pinch, you can always buy a shark card. Now, I would recommend you get them from where I grab my shark cards. It's G2A. It's a link in the description. They're usually about like 30 to 40, sometimes even 50% cheaper than what you would get on like the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Store. So if you want to take advantage of that at the last minute because you're like, I don't care about that, I just want to be able to buy everything in game, that's one way you can go about it too. So I am really starting to get excited about the Criminal Enterprises DLC that's going to be here in just a few short hours. All the new cars, all the new content, the stories that we're going to be able to follow, and a whole lot more. I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Let me know what you think about the DLC. Are you excited about it? Not excited about it? Somewhere in between. Let me know what you guys are thinking about in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.